Welcome to Inspired Africa Television. I am Patricia Bebia Mawa. On today's program, we bring you the story of Kevin Williams, President and Managing Director of General Motors of Canada. Kevin is an extraordinary leader who is driven by excellence. He is passionate about youth, community development, and diversity.
Kevin Williams was born and raised in Lexington Park, Maryland, in the United States. He has achieved immense success, from being the youngest of 11 children of grade 2 educated parents to becoming the president and managing director of General Motors Canada.
I'm the youngest of 12 children. In my family, there were 6 boys and 6 girls. It was amazing. All of my learning came from my brothers and sisters, being the youngest. They taught me everything that you can imagine about being the right kind of person, the right kind of man. And ultimately that lends into my life today.
I was an executive at General Motors, and I was invited to this leadership retreat in Orlando. And it was a day filled with different speakers from different parts of the organization across the world. And Kevin, I would say he was like a mid-morning speaker. And throughout the morning, I mean, there was a lot of interesting speeches going on, and most people would be there, writing down their notes. And then Kevin basically stood before the audience, and immediately there seemed to be this difference in tonality. And all I can tell you is most people stopped writing and began listening. And I would just say I can summarize his communication as being very captivating and very inspirational. It was one of those memorable moments. And then 3 years ago, he became president of General Motors of Canada. And when his name came across the email system, I go, Kevin Williams, I think I know that name, right? And then I quickly looked him up, and it was the Kevin Williams who made the speech. So I was really looking forward to meeting him.
Kevin Williams became the president and managing director of General Motors Canada Limited and oversees a team of over 9,000 employees nationwide. General Motors of Canada is a recognized leader in green manufacturing and markets the full range of fuel-efficient Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, and Cadillac vehicles and related services through Canada's largest automotive dealer network, which employs over 23,000 people.
I've had one of those careers that, for a country boy from Southern Maryland, from a very poor family, the youngest of 12, that I could only dream of my life, and my life has become exactly how I dreamt it to be. It was really being the youngest in my family, the first to go on to a university education, and I looked across my family tree, and I found no one had ever, not a grandparent, not an uncle, aunt, not a cousin, anyone that had ever gone on to college. And just setting a mindset that it could be possible was important. And after university, I did reasonably well. I had 8 job offers when I left the university. General Motors was the last to come and offer me. I love automobiles, so it became my choice. I've been nearly 30 years in this business.
He has been a visionary, and it's laid out in his journey and how he has really gone up the hierarchy. And he's a big encouragement to our people and to our young people as well.
Being the president of General Motors of Canada allows me to have the bottom line accountability, the responsibility, not just for myself, but the entire business unit. And I put a lot of value on that because I believe that we as human beings have the ability to make tremendous contributions in our lives. Not just for ourselves or for my income, or it's more about how can I help contribute to something greater than myself. There's a quote from Dr. Cornel West. He says, you have to imagine your life, and then you have to dream your dream such that your life, you become bigger than yourself.
When you look at great leaders who are consistently successful, okay, they have a lot of key common traits, okay? And the first trait to me is this concept of being great visionaries, right? And being able to articulate your vision and rally your people around that vision and make them believe. I think the second key trait that great leaders have to have is they have to have an impeccable value system. That has to be founded on integrity and has to be founded on the concept of genuine care genuine care for your employees, for your partners, and for your customers. And then that kind of is all, I'll say, wrapped up in the third thing, and that is the drive for excellence. Great leaders who are successful, they're always driven to excel personally and to excel as a team. Now, all I can tell you, in the last 3 years I've gotten to know Kevin, and he exemplifies those characteristics and so much more. And I would say that's the foundation of his success, and he lives that every day.
Planet Africa Television will be right back.
Welcome back. Renowned philosopher Aristotle once said that we are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is not an act, but a habit. For Kevin Williams, his commitment to excellence is evident in his achievements as a leader. As President and Managing Director of General Motors of Canada, he continues to inspire his team to innovate and offer exceptional services to their customers.
Kevin Williams has received several awards and recognitions, including the Trailblazer Award at the Global Automotive Summit held by the Rainbow Push Coalition and the Planet Africa Professional Excellence Award.
The youngest of 12 children, a father that left when I was 9 years old, living in the ghetto, growing up poor, not having enough to eat. I could tell you that story all day long. But I stand here today representing a company called General Motors and having responsibility for a company that's a $20 billion company. So for me to accept this award for professional excellence, it's about what I tell my kids every day. Every day since my kids were 3 years old, I met them at the front door of our house and I asked them 2 questions. The first question was, what's the word? And every day my kids said excellence. And then I'd ask them, why excellence? And then they'd say, because we're capable. Every day since they were 3 years old. My oldest daughter's at Yale. My youngest daughter is a #1 student at the York School here in Toronto. That's excellence. That's what I'm proud of. So my rock is with me. My wife, Arlene, of 26 years, she's my backbone. She carries me every day. Thank you, sweetheart. And thanks all of you for allowing me to be here. When someone asks me what's your favorite word, I say excellence. And the reason I say to my daughters since they were 3 years old, every single day, almost in their lives, what's the word? And they say excellence. The reason I do that is because that's the standard by which we should live by every day. And to receive an award that's based on that, is a confirmation that I had it right, and that someone else recognizes that my achievements aren't just about an endowment. Nobody gave me a gift. It required tremendous work and tremendous sacrifice and tremendous excellence.
Kevin's middle name, it could be excellence. You know, the foundation of all this communication is there's always this reference to excellence, about always making sure that we are our best every day, always making sure that we're the best in terms of being leaders in our organizations, being leaders in our communities, and being ambassadors for General Motors, and especially how we interact with the community and with our customers. One of the things he's always said is that, you know, once you get there, you don't stop. There's a new level of excellence. So overall, I would say, you know, Kevin is a perfect example of excellence in what he says, but more importantly in what he does. He sets the standard. He's an excellent coach. And when I say that, I mean in terms of how he interacts with us as dealers, and I know how he interacts with his people, and he's always out there making sure that people clearly understand what he wants, and you clearly understand his vision, and clearly understand his expectations, and I know he's very committed to providing that support.
Who are we? We are the issue of an ancestry that offered a legacy. And by our deeds and our declarations, we cause this nation to pause and ponder what manner of people are these. We are the products of suffering and sacrifice, where those who like silver must be captured and stirred. We're wise and we're watchful as we weigh the past against the present. We hear old concerns packaged and treated as being brand new. We hear proposals that offer, but only partially fulfilled. Thus we are cautious. I speak to youth groups often. I speak to young people frequently. I tell them of 4 or 5 things. I tell them, 1, to dream big dreams. I teach them to bring excellence into their lives. That the standard that we have to live by every day is not about what we achieve, but how we achieve it, but that it requires excellence every single day of their lives. I teach them very clearly to find and stand on the platform of integrity. And then I tell them, learn the concept of work. And then I finally tell them that they have to learn the principle of giving back.
So the little boy said, "Wise man, give me an answer to this dilemma. In my hand I have a little bird. I want you to tell me if this bird is dead or is it alive?" And the wise man knew that if he told him that the bird was dead, that the little boy would open his hands and the bird would fly away free and alive. And if he told him that the bird was alive, that the little boy would close his hand and smother the bird, and the bird would be dead. Either way, the wise man would be wrong, but he insisted, "Wise man, give me an answer to this dilemma." The wise man in his wisdom looked at the little boy and said, "My son, the answer is in your hands." And young people, that's what I say to you this evening. The answer is in your hands. The answer is in your hands, whether or not you will dream the biggest dream and create the grandest vision for your life. The answer is in your hands. The answer is in your hands whether you will take full responsibility for designing your own destiny. The answer is in your hands. The answer is in your hands whether or not you will make excellence your standard and stand in places where giants have stood. The answer is in your hands whether you will make education your priority and light a fire in your life. The answer is in your hands whether you will stand on a solid foundation of integrity and live by your own personal constitution. Young people, that's what I say to you this evening. The answer is in your hands. Thank you.
He was our keynote speaker at the National Convention for the BBPA, and his focus was on youth. And when he was finished at the convention, the whole room was about to burst. I mean, he did so much for the young people. I mean, the teachers are calling me and saying, "Mrs. Christian, I mean, my kids at the school, they can't stop talking about him."
Planet Africa Television will be right back.
Welcome back. When you rise to the position of president and managing director of a multi-billion-dollar company like General Motors of Canada, you're considered successful. For Kevin Williams, he has chosen to measure his success by the number of lives that he touches. He's inspired by his faith, family, and friends.
My spiritual relationship with my God is critically important. I measure my success by the type of family that I have, and that my kids and my wife are happy, and that my kids are productive at doing what they do. And then I measure my success by the numbers of friends that I have. You don't need many of them, but you have to have good friends. And in order to have good friends, you have to be a good friend. And then I also measure my success by what significance I bring in this life.
I look up to people like Kevin Williams. I think he's probably one of the most super individuals I've ever met, because talk about a humble human being, extraordinary. Really, really good guy, no airs and graces, very direct, huge amount of integrity. I mean, you know, I'm never ever going to look at any sports figure in the way that I would look at a Kevin Williams, with maybe the exception of Muhammad Ali. There are people in your life that represents a hero figure, you know, like teachers who put you right or set you on the correct path, or a mentor who opened the door for you that helped create a difference, or gave you some schooling that helped create that difference.
I learned a lot over these years, and a lot that I learned was about connecting with people and pouring back into their lives. That's been, for me, what has been most important.
He's one of the busiest guys in Canada. He has a very important job. He's got a lot of challenges that he faces every single minute of every single day, but he always finds time to go out in the community and to support very important causes that he's very passionate about. And you know, over the last 3 years, I've seen that. I've seen it myself, and I always wonder, you know, like I'll pull up a magazine and he's been there and he's done this great cause that nobody knows about. He's never out there, you know, looking for praise. He does it because it's in his heart, it's in his soul, it's what he believes in, and he knows he's doing something that's right, and he's out there trying to change lives. And I know for me, the impact is, you know, I have a lot of great ideas and I want to do a lot of things. There's always been reasons I'm too busy. And then I can say that probably it was a couple years ago when what Kevin was doing really struck me. And where I said one day, I said, you know what, here's a guy that's so busy, the president of one of the biggest companies in the world, and here I am in small Woodbridge and I can't find the time. So I can tell you one direct impact was there was this idea that I had where I felt that it was important to inspire grade 12 students to academically excel. But it required a lot of work, and that my initial response was I'm too busy. But after this special moment where I saw what Kevin was doing, I said, you know what, I'm going to make this fly. And I did, and I'm very pleased to say that today, after 2 years, it's flourishing. Every grade 12 student in Woodbridge and surrounding area has the opportunity to win a brand new Chevrolet Spark if they get an 80% average or higher. And that really all began because of Kevin's example, and that's a real story.
Planet Africa Television will be right back.
Welcome back. In spite of his busy schedule as President and Managing Director of General Motors of Canada, Kevin Williams finds time to mentor young people in the community.
Kevin Williams' passion goes beyond his desire for excellence at General Motors. While sitting on several boards, he finds time to mentor young people in the community.
They're a group of 18 kids that are from a disadvantaged community. And they were much like me growing up. And it's about discovering ways to support these young women to dream their big dreams and to enable their success. And so reaching out to them and going and mentoring them and talking to them and describing my background and letting them know that the bar isn't too high for themselves, that's important stuff to do in the community.
Young people, you're obligated to imagine your life and to create the grandest vision possible for what you'll become. And you have to look beyond what is currently available and capture all of the possibilities. Dr. Cornel West, noted professor from Princeton University, he says this: you must create a habitual vision of greatness and become something larger than yourself.
Under the leadership of Kevin Williams, General Motors of Canada has attained great heights. Several of its vehicles have received various accolades and awards, including Driver's Choice Award, Motor Trend Car of the Year, 5-star Safety Rating Car of the Year, Best Performance Car of the Year, and Driver's Choice Awards.
Sitting at the top of a company and being responsible for the roughly 10,000 people that work here, being responsible for a business in its magnitude of about $20 billion of revenue all in is a significant thing. For me, it's about ensuring the welfare of all 10,000 of those employees. It's quite a daunting task. It's a lot of hard work. It requires a great deal of focus and energy and skill, but it feels good because it also is it's a part of achieving the highest possible height that I can. I imagined my life at one point in time that I would be sitting here having this dialogue. Even as a little boy, I thought about that. Even after 30 years with General Motors, it is 16, 18-hour days. But the reality is, I came to the realization that one day I'm going to be judged not by what I do here, but what I do everywhere else. That the question is going to be not how much money you made or not what kind of job you had, or what did you do with the gifts that I gave you? How did you support those gifts? And that's the gift of family, the gift of community, the gift of friends. And so you have to put it all back in perspective and value things differently when you think that way. And for me, not easy to balance it all, but I work really hard at it. I just look for the opportunity every single day to be the best Kevin Williams I can be, to bring excellence in everything that I do every day, to work harder than anybody else can work, and to provide as much support and as much energy to other people as I possibly can. I came from a disadvantaged background. I could have made any excuse in the world for not being all that I can be. But my grandmother used to say, son, go out there and make this your world. And that's what motivated me more than just about anything. And sitting here today is a great achievement. And it's not just the end, it's also another starting point, because from here, there are greater works to do. in my life. But what's next for me is simply looking for those avenues to go out and inspire and to touch and to help people to change their lives for the better. I've learned a few things along the way, and I think I can impart that knowledge. So beyond just the work that I do at General Motors, it's about connecting with people and enabling their success in life. And that will allow me to live a life of greater significance, which is the journey that I'm on today. Determination means fighting for every single thing that you find important in your life and doing it with your full force, your full mind, and your full heart every day. Integrity is about living with the highest moral values that you can find and making sure that you stand on that platform of integrity every single day of your life. Leadership is about inspiring people to follow your direction. And inspiring leadership is all about giving them the model for success that they feel comfortable following in their lives. Faith means believing beyond yourself, having the trust that things will happen the way that you think they will happen based on what you believe.
That's all for the program. According to Bruce Barton, nothing splendid has ever been achieved except by those who believe that something in them was superior than their circumstances. Kevin Williams has proved that regardless of your situation, if you pursue excellence and dream dreams bigger than yourself, you can achieve extraordinary success. If you'd like to know more about us, please visit our website at planetafricagroup.com. Also follow us on Twitter and join us on Facebook. I am Patricia Bebia Mawa. See you next time. Goodbye.